Hi, my name is Sasha and welcome to my channel. And it was quite hard to begin this video so positively because world changed since my last video and I had to take a break, first due to COVID, then to things, and because of that I'd love to say you the most important thing: always check info, always look for info. Even if you say that you are not connected with politics. So am I. I'm a tutor, I'm a student, I'm a blogger. I'm not part of politics, but politics is what surrounds us. You can't ignore it. You live in society, and because of that, you should check info, you should look for info, you should know what's going on. And if you don't, and if you believe the first source you see, then you're an irresponsible person. But still, I'm here to educate you, and because of that, let's go to our video. I adore writing stories. I write my own fairy tale. I used to write small stories. I love it, and because of that, I learned to do it totally right, and I know what's the way of each character. And because of that, I'd love to introduce you to Haruki Murakami and Tsukuru Tazaki. And this book, some people, when I recommend them to read it, they said that it ended without actual ending. Because we don't get replies on each of our questions. We don't get all the answers. But still, that's what makes this book the perfect reply why adventure of hero the way it is. And let me explain you why and help you to learn to build your own characters. The thing about this book is that this cover perfectly describes it. He had 4 friends. Each friend had surname connected with colors, so it was red, blue, white and black one. And he was colorless in this situation. And because of that, he thought that he's different, he's not like them, and it's a bad thing. He thought that these characters are better than him because he couldn't find himself. But in the end of the day, he was the brightest. And the book ends with nothing actually, because the last words of the book are basically, and there was a song of wind between white Biraska. I should find this word, it's embarrassing. And actually, we don't get answers if he gets a girlfriend, if he gets perfect life after that, if he gets a reply after all this experience. But we see that he changed, and that's what characters are about. Joseph Campbell created the concept of monomyth. And what is that? Monomyth is a concept that says that all these books are basically one book, and by reading one of them you can predict how all the others work. Hero needs development and he can't exist without it, and we can define each step of his development with our own life. And that's why Romeo and Juliet, Haruki Murakami, Jane Austen and John Green write the same book. So with Jane Austen and Pride and Prejudice, we have her character getting from young woman who has her own beliefs and who's fighting for them, becoming a strong, independent woman who goes through her emotional crisis and gets to her development. In John Green Looking for Alaska, we get the exact same thing, character with no motivation, with no sense in his life as far as I remember, finding this movie to motivate him to become someone and making him someone. And after that, he changes. Then we go to Haruki Murakami. And in his case, character goes to the same thing. In the previous books, we get proper ending, as you would say. But in real life, Haruki Murakami gives us the exact same proper ending. His character gets the whole circle. He develops and goes to the new step of his life, and because of that we don't need continuation. And it's same with these books, you don't need continuation. their own motivation, they get to first minor problem, then to the second bigger problem, and then to the solution of this problem that changes them into corpses. Let's let go all these books and concentrate on Haruki Murakami, because I want to make people read this book and understand it, because I love it so much. Okay, let's continue. The first thing is our character lives his simple life. And in case of Tsukuru Tazaki, he lives as a person who studies train, who works with trains, who lives his simple life doing train stuff daily. And after that, he's being called. And by being called in his case, we mean him meeting his new friend. And his new friend is a person who swims with him. And this person gives him some kind of memories about his past, and it was the main problem for him during his whole life, that he can't forget his past and can't get answers. And his friend gives him this motivation to think about it again, about things that he forgot, about finding someone who will replace this friendship in his life. And for the first time in forever, Tsukuru Tazaki begins to think about connections, building connections again. Not only building like minor relationships that are not important for him, but about doing deep connection as he does with his swimmer friend. You may think that after that he'll do his research and be like, okay, I'll go to discover things. And actually the answer is no. After that, Tsukuru Tazaki just tries to forget about it. And he tries to go back to his simple life, but with his new friend replacing his past. But it doesn't work with this way. And it doesn't work this way even in our real lives. Because if you have your own problems, if you try to hide them, it won't change anything in your life. You'll be simply a person with problems that are not solved and that live inside of you. And that's what happens with Tsukuru Tazaki. After that, our hero meets leader, someone who will teach him to live, give him new motivation. And in case of Tsukuru, is his new lover, and I don't remember the name again, so it will be just lover. So his new lover is a woman who needs him to be more open, needs him to solve his problem, because you can't basically build relationships while you're so traumatized that you still think about your past friends daily. And because of that, she helps him to go to the idea of changing something, of changing his way of perception life, of finding answer, of going back to his past life to get answers and live his life. Finally, life of his, not only life of his past trauma. After that, our hero crosses the bridge. By bridge in this case, we mean that our hero goes to his new adventures. He makes his first step. And in case of Tsukuru, it means that he takes a break in his job and goes back to his own city where he spent his whole life. So, we go to next step of development of character. And in the case of Tsukuru, it means that he meets Kei. Kei became a person who gives seminars to people who want to become better workers. And in the past, he remembers him as really a child who gives hopes. And he sees him as a person who basically started to build people as machines. And he sees that he had so much more potential than becoming someone who just makes money. And he lost his potential in his eyes. And after that, he realizes that he can't change all the things in his past. And basically, he stops to realize why he's doing it. He's just doing it because of some kind of inertia, because he has to do it, because he has already started to do it. These things that happened, we go to our second friend, and it's the blue one. And the blue one, his name basically means blue sea. And our friend, he used to be a good sportsman, but he ends up being a person who sells cars and who's quite good at it, but it's still not the way he's built. It's disconnected with his own character, and Tsukuru feels it. And because of that, he feels this deep concern that it's wrong and that he can't change it. And because of that, we go through his deep things going on with him. But at the same time, we see that he develops. As he looks at these people, he realizes that their colors, they became plain. The red one is not as good as he used to be. He became not as motivational. He's more of a person who uses others for making money. The blue one, he lost his sparkle of being sportsman, being energetic. He is not like this anymore. He's like other people. And he's not the person he used to know in the past. He doesn't feel that connection anymore. And it makes him see his own true colors brighter. He sees himself changing, and he goes deeper through his changes with help of his dreams. I won't describe it because it's 18 plus. So yeah. And that's the moment when our characters goes to challenge. And challenge is basically him meeting the black one. And the black one used to be in love with him, but she lives happily life now. But still, he needs this conversation with her. And because of that, he builds this deeper connection that helps him to let go his deeper feelings that were torturing him inside due to all these years. And because of this wonderful conversation of them, and them listening to this song, them having this beautiful moment of being united, building these relationships on a different level. They are not friends the way they used to be, but they can't change the fact that they are close, because it's part of their past. We can't let it go even if you try a lot. And it's the same for all of us. And actually, that's what leads Haruki. And that's what leads our Tsukuru Tazaki to going home. He's on his way home and he realizes that he needs to talk to his girlfriend, because otherwise all this way was useless. And we hear his inner conversation, inner monologue that helps us to realize that he changed. His mind isn't that dirty, because the whole first part of the book there were like steps of him having dirty dreams or something like that. And to this moment he changed and he became a different person. And it's wonderful to see. But we still don't understand if he changed for him being able to build deeper connection, or he changed to him avoiding deeper connection at all. Go to mastering. Mastering is the part where our character basically needs to practice his own skills. We need to see that our character actually developed. And in case of Tsukuru, it means that he is going for a conversation with his girlfriend. And in this book, actually, I think that they skip part of history of power, where he gives his power to someone else, etc., because we don't need it here. And but still, this book is finished, and we go through the whole circle of simple life, going to being called, refusing to this call, getting person who will help us, going to an adventure, meeting death, fighting death, going to a new power, finding it, challenging, and going home. And in his case, going home is basically returning to his real home, because his real home isn't the place he was born anymore, isn't the place where his friend, the black girl, lives. It's another type of situation. And it's amazing because actually we don't get answers how did their talk finish, and that's what pisses people off. That we don't know what's the ending of his talk with his girlfriend. But in real life we don't need it. He changed. We have seen these changes, we have seen this adventure. It's not needed anymore. And that's pretty much it. It works the same with Romeo and Juliet. It works the same with any other author, any other book. And that's amazing. And that's what will help you to build your own book, build your own characters, and create a story. Thank you so much. See you.